Derek Jeter had his last at bat at home at Yankee Stadium last night. Jeter came to the plate in a tie game 5-5 with the runner on second and 1 out. And let's listen to the call.
And that brings up Jeter.
Now batting for the Yankees, number 2, Derek Jeter. Number 2.
Well, the script is there. The last page is in Derek's hands. Meek deals. Base hit to right field. Here comes Richardson. Here's the throw from Markakis. Richardson is safe. Derek Jeter ends his final game with a walk-off single. Derek Jeter, where fantasy becomes reality. Did you have any doubt?
Derek Jeter's last at bat at Yankee Stadium, a walk-off RBI single. That felt more staged than the 1919 World Series. I really thought, a part of me thought that the Orioles would walk Jeter and just have the fans go crazy. And that would have been worse than 10-cent beer night if Buck Showalter would have walked Derek Jeter. And Showalter was actually Jeter's manager his first year in the bigs. But that's just Derek Jeter right there. Nothing big, over the top, just a straight to right field, straight to the point, walk-off RBI single. And that's the whole career of Jeter. In this era of steroids, he never used them. When players are jumping from team to team in free agency, he played his whole career in New York, and he played his best when the pressure was on. His postseason numbers are bigger and better than his regular season numbers. He hit .351 in World Series games and just .309 for his career. Just .309 for his career as a Yankee. He was Captain Clutch. Never won a league MVP. He might not even have been the best player on his own team at times, but he was the captain. He won 5 World Series rings, a World Series MVP, 14-time All-Star, 5 Gold Gloves, and I could go on and on. He was a Yankee all-time leader in hits and stolen bases, all while being the captain of the Yankees. That's the most known franchise in the biggest market in the world, arguably most known franchise. And he was a class act guy. And way back in 1992 during the amateur draft, teams didn't want to pick him. The Astros passed on him. 4 or 5 other teams passed on him. Everybody thought he was going to go to college. He was straight out of high school. Nobody thought Derek Jeter was going to go pro. And Dick Grouch, who was a scout for the Yankees, he told Steinbrenner asked him, he said, well, Jeter's going to go to college. And Grouch said, the only place Jeter is going is to Cooperstown. And he is. He is a first ballot, no argument, Hall of Famer. When he got hit number 3,000, it was a home run. His last at bat at Yankee Stadium, a walk-off single RBI to win the game. He's so good, back in 99, he had a leadoff double for an RBI. Derek Jeter, last game as a Yankee, asked after the game if he would play in this weekend series against Boston, giant rivalry in sports, and Jeter said, I'm not going to play shortstop, but I will play for the fans and for the rivalry. That's just the type of guy he is. Most players, almost all players, would just take this as their last moment and go into the sunset. But Jeter's going to DH this weekend against Boston, just a class act. Speaking of class acts, we got a clip here of the wonderful Wizard of Oz, Ozzie Smith, who was a great shortstop and a class act in his own right, arguably the best defensive shortstop of all time, on the Michael Kay Show earlier this year, speaking on Derek Jeter.
I mean, he's right there at the top, and I think playing in New York, it had to be one of the toughest things in the world, but here was a guy who kept himself clean, always said the right things, and I think a lot of credit goes to his parents, his upbringing. He's had a lot of pride. He's done it with class. He's done it with dignity. You can't say enough about what a great ambassador he has been for the game of baseball, and I think that he's one of those special players that he proved that a big guy could play the position, and I think people were willing to forego range and defense for the offense that these guys can create, and Derek certainly was one of those players that created such exciting moments in playoffs. And when you play on a team like the Yankees, you know, you're in the playoffs and stuff all the time, you know, so he really, really shined in those moments and stuff, and I think that that's the way people will remember him.
That was Ozzie Smith on Derek Jeter. Here's a quick take on North Carolina's own Michael Jordan talking about Derek Jeter.
The thing I like about Derek is that, you know, when you see all his competitors, all his teammates, I don't think anybody can say one thing bad about Derek. You know, he's a complete champion. He's an idol for me, you know, in terms of how he's well respected in the game from not just his teammates but his opponents. And he carries himself like every professional baseball player, a professional athlete should be. You know, he's a very classy guy, very straightforward, very friendly. I don't think anybody can say one bad thing about Derek Jeter, not that I know.
That was Michael Jordan on Derek Jeter. MJ on DJ. DJ just a class act all the way around.